First week of fall camp. It was a good start. I like where the kids are. A lot of excitement, a lot of learning, like we talked about. Every day is an opportunity to continually get better in the weight room, on the field, in the meeting rooms. How we're taking care of ourselves off the field from a nutritional standpoint, and so I think they've handled all those challenges very well. Were able to get into pads as the week went on, and happy with their progress. Lots of work to do. Scrimmage yesterday was the first time these young men have played football for quite a while and lined up and played real football. Put the ball down and drive it and see what happens on offense and defense and special teams. And a great learning film that we'll have today. Ended up getting 80 some odd snaps on the day, which was good. We're looking for around 100, but it ended up being 80, which was just fine. And so we continue to work through camp, and a good start with a good attitude, and lots of work to obviously get done as we continue to progress. No questions, so we're done?
Hey, Coach. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can.
But, sorry, good afternoon. Hey, I know your defensive backfield is very experienced. Troy LaFetch Jr. is one guy that stood out to you last year's in fall camp. What have you seen so far in him this year as he looks to take on maybe more responsibility and continues to improve?
Well, Troy's done a good job of, switching positions and playing in different packages and scenarios for us to this point. We will move Troy back to more of where he played last year, which I think will be good for him as a whole. So it'll be him and Shaq back there at the safety position. And then we'll move some kids around at the our F linebacker position and see where that goes. Troy is so valuable. After a week of evaluation, he's really good there too. But we want to always work to get the best 11 guys on the field, and slight adjustment, him going back to where he was last year more. He'll still be up there sometimes playing on the edge of the defense, depending on the defensive package. I believe it gives him more of an ability to make plays, see more of the field, be around more of the field, and be a little bit more of a leader back there at the safety position. So he's done great. He's progressing. Excited about his play, and we expect him to be a dominant force back there, and he expects the same.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, what's the defense looking like as a whole with the switch to the 3-4? Now Frank Miley and Stacy Collins are running the show. How's the front seven developing as a unit?
Well, it's a great question, and it's a great area for us to continually dissect every day. Quite frankly, it's you're only as good as your fronts are, and we're progressing, and we are playing some odd front. We're playing some even front. It's not all just odd. We're bouncing in and back and forth, and really trying to get a continual feel of our players that are there, and the young men that we have. We've never seen Marcus Moore play live football before until this last week, and never seen him in scrimmage until yesterday. And we know what Justice brings, and Holly brings, and Sone brings, and those guys are in the packages they're moving through. So the defensive front doing a good job of adapting to a few different fundamental techniques that we're putting at them to get from the odd front to the even front. The inside linebacker position, is somewhere where there's a bunch of competition at inside linebacker position, and it's fun to watch that continually grow. We need to really be too deep there for sure at that position. Like, it's always your goal to get as solid or too deep as you possibly can, but it's really important at that inside linebacker position this year, is our belief, to get those four young men in there playing and battling through it. And there's a good fight going on at that position. And then you have to include our B linebacker in that defensive line, if you will. And Nick Henniger, Elijah Shelton are doing a nice job in that at the B position right now of kind of battling it out. And so we got a ways to go on the front. It's a week into camp. So the physicality thing and the ability to get in there and work to what they do best is where we're headed. Is that there's different styles of play you can play on the defensive line depending on who you are and the type of young men that you have. And we're continually working, and Frank's doing a great job working with those kids to build the defense kind of around the front seven, which is always a great starting point.
Coach, can you tell us any details about the scrimmage, big plays, who won the days, stuff of that nature?
Yeah, again, great question. We just got done watching it, started at 9 o'clock this morning, 8:30 with the coaches, and ground through it, and the kids are in meetings right now sitting back and watching it. So I would say that the day was won by the defense. Overall, we did a nice job of taking care of the football on the offensive side of the ball. Didn't have enough explosive plays on the offensive side of the football, which in turn really gave the defense the opportunity to win the day. The offense did a nice job when they had an opportunity to start drives in the red zone, of finishing those drives with touchdowns for the most part. That was a huge positive. I thought the special teams, we did some things just a little different than we usually do scrimmage one. We put as good a people as we could on both sides of the ball. So it wasn't really a scout team against the first punt team and so on. It was really good against good. So it was a good kickoff team against a good kickoff return team, and a good punt team against a good punt return team, as good as we could build. And that really gave us an idea of personnel, put us ahead of the game on our personnel as far as who's going to have an opportunity to be in there. And it also showed some deficiencies that we had, obviously, in the punt game. It's really good on the punt return team, and we put some heavy pressure on the punter, and we got 2 punts blocked. And so that's something that we've got to dive into and make sure that we can fix those. They apparently are things that we can fix fairly easy, but when you get a punt blocked, it's not an easy fix. It's a game changer, and it's the best way to lose a football game that one person can really think of. So it was good competition in all 3 areas. Again, I would say the defense won the day. I thought we tackled well, need more explosive plays again on offense, as we said, and some really good evaluation from the special team standpoint, especially with the young players.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about having to play the defending champion Boise State in the first week, and how much does that compress the pressure you're probably already feeling in getting ready in 29 days?
Yeah, game one is always very interesting, as we all know, and even more interesting with the COVID year that we're all going through. Playing Boise is a tremendous challenge. It's we all know where they are. We all know where they've sat for many, many years, and they have done a tremendous job of consistently playing football at a very high level in this league, and quite frankly, outside of this league. So it's a tremendous challenge. It's something that we look forward to. I'm sure these kids look at that and say, if you want to be the best, not just on our side, but have an opportunity to be the best in this conference, that's going to go through Boise. Each and every year, at some point, it's going to go through Boise. And, every team, I'm sure, feels the exact same way, and I'm sure Boise feels the same way, as they're traditionally a very powerful program, again, not just in our conference, but throughout the country. And it's a great challenge for us, and it's one that our kids will definitely look forward to. And it's a fun place to go play. I played there a few times. Obviously, it's going to be way different this year, but I think our kids are looking forward to preparing first and then having an opportunity to get on that bus and go up and play against a quality football team.
Coach, what positional groups of players really stood out to you during the first full week of fall camp?
Stood out. I would say that the defensive backfield has done really a nice job, and again has some heavy competition. I like where they are. I like the running backs, from a practice standpoint. I thought that they've done a real good job of running hard and being physical and picking up protections, throwing quite a bit at them from the defensive side as far as some pass under pressure situations, and they've done a nice job of adapting there. Those two would kind of jump out at me. The evaluation of the offense and defensive lines has really just started the last few days, and we were very run heavy in that scrimmage by design. We're trying to build a demeanor and an attitude of being able to run the football and be physical and run the football. And that evaluation really for the first time took place on multiple snaps, which was good to see. So excited to see those offensive and defensive linemen continue to grow and develop and fight against each other. But I would single out the DBs and the running backs that have done a nice job for us. And I would also say the tight ends have done a nice job. Carson is the leader of that crew and has done a great job. And Mo's come in and is back with us and doing a heck of a job back there. So that's a good crew of young men as they grow through also.
Coach, I know we're still 4 weeks away from Boise State. When do you start prepping for them, and how much longer do you guys keep working on yourselves because of the lack of opportunities being allowed to work with reps and players and such?
Yeah, our coaches will start to evaluate practices. We'll practice today, and then the coaches will get back in here tomorrow morning and evaluate this practice, and then they'll take a couple hours every single day and start breaking down and spending time on Boise. Now, we also did that in the summer just like everybody else does, and goodness knows we had plenty of time over the last few months to break down opponents or who we thought we were going to play, and Boise was one of those. So we have a little bit of a preliminary scouting report that they'll start with that and start building. From a player standpoint of practice, we will go through this next week and continue on taking care of the Aggies, most definitely, and get ourselves another scrimmage or a couple opportunities to have mini scrimmages throughout the weeks, depending on how we decide to do that with the players and to put them in the best spot to get better, to get in game shape conditioning-wise, and also do everything we can to protect them. And that'll go through this week. And then the next week, probably a week from this Wednesday, we'll start to shift gears and spending some time on Boise State because they do a lot on offense. They do a lot on defense, and they have really good players. So as soon as we feel comfortable about getting our depths solidified for the most part in our two deep, then we'll begin that process. It will be a little different this year because our roster size is not as big as it usually is, just through the way it's gone through. Is that, we have whatever it may be, 100 kids or whatever it may be, and usually have 10 or so more kids. We're adding a few more from high school, the kids that have graduated, to get out here with us. But we'll spend more time as a scout team this year really servicing each other. And that's good. It's good on good, kind of servicing each other. And there's some enough carryover in our offense and our defense to help us prepare for Boise that way also.
Coach, I appreciate some of the insight on the personnel and whatnot. I got a question regarding the offense and some of the new additions to the team. Obviously, Jason Shelley and DHC were the headline names, but then freshman John Gentry and then transfer Justin McGriff.
Yeah.
All these guys have a chance to play a major role in the offense this year. What have you seen from them so far this fall, and what should we expect from them come October 24th?
Yeah, so I'm going to remember all those that I can as I go through there, and if I miss one, jump back at me and I'll hit it. So let's start with Jason Shelley. Jason's done a great job of coming in and competing, being a great teammate, works very well in the quarterback room, extremely smart. He's not doing backflips over the performance of the offense yesterday, nor should he be. Neither quarterback is, quite frankly, and Andrew's the same way. So we need to work to get better at all positions, and that's not saying the quarterbacks didn't play well overall. It's just offensively, it always goes to the quarterback. And he's done a good job. He's savvy. He's handled things well, and he's a great teammate, and he's excited to be competing for the job that he's competing for. And DHC, limited time yesterday with DHC and with Jalen Warren both in the backfield. Didn't give them the ball a lot yesterday, but gave them enough to get them warmed up, and we really, used them quite extensively throughout the week. So yesterday was a time to look at some of the other backs, but DHC is again, an experienced back, knows how to take care of himself, smart, understands where he is, that he's in a stable of what we would expect to be very good running backs, and is excited about his opportunity to compete and play. John Gentry, got his first opportunity yesterday to really get in there and play and showed some good things, some good physical runs. It's kind of still going fast for him as a freshman, which is 100% to be expected. And, like what we see, he's got tremendous speed. Again, a young man that comes to work every day. That's really, to my opinion, that's a credit to his family and his parents and his high school program. Those are tough dudes. They play football the right way there at North Shore, and you bring those kids into a college program, and they're ready to get rocking and rolling when they come into the program. So he's in a good spot. Justin McGriff, he's a guy that you have to look at and say, we need to give him an opportunity in practice and scrimmages to make plays. And you have to give him that opportunity prior to games. And that is something that he came here to be a playmaker. He's a big, giant target, and he is a tremendous, tremendous kid. He works his tail off out there on the football field, and we need to make sure that we give him opportunities to make plays. I think he can be a game changer in games, but right now we have to see him be a game changer in practice and scrimmages to ensure that he can be a game changer in games. So providing opportunities for him is a big assignment for our coaches this next 2 weeks in practice, and let him show us what he can do. Who'd I miss?
You're 4 for 4.
Okay, got them all.
Great answer.
Did my best.
Coach, just looking at the schedule, every game is probably going to be in cold weather, some likely with some snow. You've got a few mobile quarterbacks and several options at running back. So how confident are you that might give you an advantage over some of your other teams should you face, really, really inclement weather?
Well, that's, we have our plan to win, and our plan to win has been the same for so many years. And at Utah State, I would say for the last 10 years, the plan to win has stayed exactly the same. And we did add a new a new category, I suppose, to our plan to win, and that's play complementary football. And this year, it's really going to rear its head at us. You would think the percentages of that's going to take place with the weather, and that would be being able to physically run the football and be able to put ourselves in a position to, have a nice physical presence about us on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, because there may be those games. Now, that doesn't take the fact away you want to get the ball to have explosive plays on offense and going to get that ball into those playmakers' hands. But I would agree with what you're saying. The chances of not so good weather every game is fairly high, without a doubt. And our ability to be able to run the football with our tight ends, our offensive line, our running backs, DT at times, you got to get the ball in that kid's hands. He's special. And then obviously our quarterbacks running the football too needs to be a big part of our run game, because they are athletic guys and they can make people miss.
Coach, the Mountain West went with not having divisions this year and just going with the top 2 teams via winning percentage. Is that what you were hoping for, and how does that change your strategy of approaching the season? Yeah,
it's interesting that was the concept that they decided to not go with the sides of the divisions, and but it didn't make a difference for us. We're playing the exact same people, and it looked like that to me that it was that way through most of the schedule. So the schedule, it was given to us. That's who we're going to play. So the fact that it didn't it didn't affect our scheduling, it didn't really affect our side much from what I can see. The thing that is just you worry about is just hopefully everybody can play, right? And I've heard that some schools now possibly shut down right now, not practicing for a little bit, or some haven't even quite started yet, or they're just getting started. It's a crapshoot, as we know, through this year to be able to get everybody to play. I hope it works out the right way. But again, our schedule is who we anticipated it being long ago, and didn't change. So I suppose that's a positive.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering if we can get an update on Ty Shaw's status.
Ty Shaw?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ty was reinstated, and Ty has decided to move forward in life, and he's doing great. Last time I talked to him wasn't too long ago. He's enjoying life outside of football.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
When's your next scrimmage, Coach?
Oh, boy, that's a great question. We're going to talk about that tonight as the staff. And I would think, looking at next Friday, if I was guessing right now, I would say it would be Friday. But we will have some mini scrimmages in between. When I say that, we have an 18-period practice. Each period is 5 minutes long. We may have 6 periods of a certain situational scrimmage, maybe red zone, maybe third downs, and then some control down scenarios thrown in there, whatever it may be. So a bigger scrimmage, I would guess Friday at this point. Probably will not be 80 plays, more like 60, with a little bit of more situational football sprinkled in.
Thanks. With those 80 reps that the quarterbacks got on Friday, was that pretty evenly split among them, or?
Yeah, I would bet it was by design. Excuse me. By design, it was split fairly evenly. You know how drives go. Some drives last longer than other drives, so I couldn't give you the exact breakdown. But by design, as far as how many times we were going out there and playing it. It seemed to be really even to me. Cooper Lagat came in and got a series there at the end, and but between those first two guys, it should have been split reps. I would imagine they're within probably 10 reps of each other.
Just following up with Ty Shaw, Coach, is there any other players who have decided to also move on from football?
From when on, Jay? I mean, we've got kids that, there's always fluctuation in our roster as we go through time. Who would you be specifically talking about?
I guess I don't have anyone specific in mind.
Yeah, there's a couple kids that have decided to, through this whole process, and Caden Anderson is one. I talked to him yesterday, and football time was great for him, and he's moved on in life and excited about the opportunities that he's got out there in front of him. Logan Lee, this young man had an unbelievable job opportunity. He's probably making more money right now than I was making my first 25 years of coaching football. So great opportunity for him. Who else? Chase Nelson has a medical situation but he's healthy, he's fine. Football wasn't in the cards at this point. So nothing as far as, as a kid that has decided that I'm not going to play this year and I'm going to come back and play next year, or I'm not going to play this year and I'm going to go somewhere else and play. Moving along in life and putting themselves in a position to be successful as they see. They've given everything they could to Aggie Nation, those kids, and they're excited about the path that they're on, and I'm excited to watch them and continually talk to them as they move through. And I don't think did I miss anybody? Can't think of anybody. Yeah, so, but those, that's it. That's the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, you said you're really watching for the injuries. Is it so far so good, or is anybody?
Again, great question. And yes, we're in a good spot right now after 80 plays yesterday and a week of practice. You have your bumps and bruises and bangs here and there, but our kids are in a good spot, and we're looking forward to that holding up right now, and it's been good for us.
Anything else for Coach Anderson?
We good, guys? Okay, appreciate it. Go Aggies.